At the top of the show, we talked about a Vice News article which accurately and correctly outlines how there is now an open season on the trans community as a result of the shooter in the Nashville, Tennessee shooting being a trans individual. Now, this, of course, ignores that if you look at the last 5,000 mass shootings, there have been like 3 or 4 trans or non-binary shooters. Ignores all facts and reality that a drag show where stories are read to kids, not necessarily by trans people, just by drag performers, has nothing to do with what took place in Nashville, Tennessee. It doesn't matter. It's now open season. And one of the primary perpetrators here is radical, repugnant, and reactionary Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, or Marjorie Greene Taylor, or Marjorie Trader Greene, depending on your preference. She has now been suspended from Twitter after a warning about trans vengeance. Newsweek reports, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene claimed that her congressional Twitter account has been suspended after sharing unfounded information about a trans day of vengeance in the wake of the Nashville school shooting. As you know, the shooter ultimately killed at least 6 people, including 3 young students and 3 adult faculty members. Police have yet to officially disclose a probable motive. They've confirmed the shooter identified as trans, although it remains unclear in which ways and to what degree it was the case. Nevertheless, several prominent conservative figures like Greene have attempted to link Hale's actions to being trans, insinuating with little evidence that gender transition drugs or surgeries were to blame in some manner. Greene in particular tweeted about a supposed event called the Trans Day of Vengeance, linking it to the Nashville shooting and alleging a broader threat of trans terrorism. Later, Greene claimed on her personal account that her congressional account was suspended because of those tweets. The original tweet and subsequent ones have been deleted, but Newsweek was able to view some of them. After 3,000 retweets of this tweet, my account was suspended again. Why is Twitter whitewashing the Trans Day of Vengeance? Elon Musk? A day after a murder of children by a trans shooter, people need to know about the threat they face from Antifa and trans terrorism. In her own post on the matter, Ella Irwin, who's the VP of Trust and Safety at Twitter, said the platform automatically swept for tweets containing a poster for the Trans Day of Vengeance and took them down no matter who was sharing it or why. Makes sense. Marjorie Taylor Greene shouldn't get special treatment on Twitter because she's an elected official. We had to automatically sweep our platform and remove more than 5,000 tweets/retweets of this poster. We do not support tweets that incite violence, irrespective of who posts them. Vengeance does not imply peaceful protest. Organizing or support for peaceful protests is okay. Later, responding to a claim from Irwin that accounts were not receiving strikes for sharing it, Greene shared a screenshot of an explanation she purportedly received and said this is a lie. She posts saying that she's been limited because of some of the things she posted, whatever. Listen, seeing the right wing rush to spread transphobia and more generally the anti-LGBT sentiment since the shooting earlier this week, it's disturbing and it's depressing, but it's also horrifying. Of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a particularly disgusting and abhorrent person. I would argue even by the standards of the average of the Republican Party. You've got what I consider to be the more honest actors in the Republican Party, people like Willard Mitt Romney, Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, people with whom I disagree on policy and who certainly hold some views I find disgusting, including, for example, on abortion. But they are at least more honest actors in the Republican Party. I would call them on the better side of the Republican Party. Then you've kind of got the middle, the average of the crazies and the people like Romney and Cheney, et cetera. And then you have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, Lauren Boebert, all of these types of folks. Marjorie Taylor Greene, even by the average of the modern Republican Party, is particularly disgusting. And as always is the case, and I mentioned this earlier and it bears repeating again, it's always too soon to politicize shootings when it's the typical shooting. And what I mean by that is white male, born in the USA, under age 25. Then it's too soon to politicize. And any discussion of actually doing a damn thing about what's going on is inappropriate. When we try to find actual solutions, when we say, hey, you know what? Had there been a waiting period and had the person been unable to buy high capacity magazines because of their age, or all of the different things that I talk about, 10 different proposals, then this shooting either wouldn't have happened or fewer people would have died, both of which would be better than what we have. Oh, David, that's too soon. How dare you? How dare you politicize a tragedy before they've even buried their dead? Well, when we wait, then nothing happens. And the NRA does its thing and they do their dog and pony show and nothing happens. Well, as we are seeing now, they don't actually care about politicizing these tragedies too soon, because Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson and the whole lot of them immediately politicized it when it was about clamping down on the trans community and linking this to what they call trans women in sports and drag shows and CRT and all of this sort of stuff. As always, they claim to care about the deficit, but they don't. They only care about the deficit when it's a Democrat in the White House. They claim to care about election integrity, except when they try to steal an election that they lost. It's all projection. And similarly, they care about not politicizing mass shootings, except when it's convenient to politicize a mass shooting. Trump says at his rallies, there has never been a movement like this. And he's right. But there has never been a movement this depraved. And I am fearful of what comes next. Let me know your thoughts, and we will follow up on this for sure.